Food is ridiculous right now. The price is at an all-time high, but we still want to enjoy a fine piece of meat every once in a while. Starting at Costco for that whole cut of meat that hasn't been cleaned, hasn't been butchered yet. I'm going to show you how to break down this full tenderloin. We're going to break it into 4 different restaurant cuts that you can utilize for 4 different meals. All right, this is the top. You can see the silver skin, you can see some excess fat, but whatever fat is edible that we can break down, we're gonna save to the side for our ground beef. Let's flip this over and start removing the chain. Okay, the first thing that I always do is remove the chain. You're gonna see the chain, it's right here. It's right off the side of the tail. It runs all the way up. That's the chain. There is some good meat in it. We're gonna get it all out. We're gonna utilize that. That's amazing meat for ground beef. Use your fingers to run down the chain, separate it. It'll get to the point where you're gonna have to probably use a knife, but you can see that, it's busting itself. As you can see there, guys, it's nice and clean. We've got our chain right here. We're gonna come back to the chain, get all the usable meat out of that. If there's any fat that we can use in that, we'll get that as well. Got it on the top here. We're just gonna go and pull off a lot of this useless gristle, this fat. A lot of this is just garbage, guys. It's not gonna break down. It's just gonna be chewy, a mess. Just use your hands. This is the stuff you cannot have on there. It has to go. It's called the silver skin. This is super tough, super chewy. You gotta get this off. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Kind of like you're threading a needle. Get that knife tip in there. We've got the knife under it. Now, you need to tip the knife just slightly towards the silver skin. Never have that knife tilted into the meat. You do that, the second you pull on that knife, you're going into the meat. We want to try and ride that silver skin as clean as possible. We want no meat on the other side. So here we go. Just a slight tilt. Okay, see that? So we've done the first strip. Now we're just gonna get the knife back under, nice and tight, pull it tight with your hand. Same thing, guys, we need to tilt that knife. The knife needs to be tilted towards the silver skin, ever so slightly, but not down, not at all. See that? We got the tilt. We're riding the silver skin. And that right there, guys, is about as good as you're gonna get it. So we've got most of the silver skin off. We're gonna expose the rest of the silver skin by removing this piece right here. And we're gonna utilize that when we make up our stir fry meat. Okay, we're just gonna square up the tenderloin while taking this off. Okay, so we got tenderloin right here that we're gonna use for stir fry meat. We can also cut this up into like a thicker strip for stroganoff. A few different things we can utilize that for. So we have to remove this as well. It's on the other side. We're gonna still make steaks out of this. We're just gonna clean this out nicely. It's like sinew. It's not fat. It's not good. Okay, now we've got it laid out. We've got it nice and clean. And then we're gonna break it down into a few pieces. We've got some fat. We've got other pieces from the chain over here for our ground beef. We're still gonna add a bit more for that, but we're gonna take this down into about 3 pieces. So we're gonna take the end. So here we go. Take off at about here. Good stir fry meat there. Throw that in the scraps bowl. And I'm gonna square this out about that. It's a little tougher, a little bit more fat towards this side of the fillet. So we're gonna take this down. It's gonna be used for ground beef. We'll cut a little bit out for stir fry meat. Now we've pretty much got what's left is what they like to call your Chateaubriand. This is gonna be 6 perfect fillets. So you got a big family, that's 6 steaks. Here we go. There we go, guys. There's a perfect size fillet. I know some people might like it thicker, but that's about where I'm gonna go for me and my family. That's how we like it. Okay, we got 6 beautiful fillets. We're gonna set this aside for steak and lobster night. We're gonna pull out the rest We're gonna take these two pieces, we're gonna break this down into stroganoff meat, into stir fry meat, and then we'll put a little bit aside to add to the ground beef. So we'll take these pieces, get all this excess fat off. Like I said, if it's breaking up, we can use that. That's good. This out. There is not a lot of fat when it comes to the fillet. So when you're doing a tenderloin, you really want, if you're gonna do ground beef, you wanna utilize every last bit of fat you can to get that into the mix. Okay, we're starting with the stroganoff meat. So for stroganoff meat, I know a lot of people do chunks. I like strips. Just cutting thin, not thin, but about ½ inch. I'll cut it. Nice chunks. All right, we got some nice stroganoff meat here. I love stroganoff, it's beautiful. We get it a little thicker. We'd fry that brown, then we're gonna give it a little bit of a braise in that stroganoff sauce. Let it all cook together. Let all the juice, the tallow come out of the meat and into the sauce. It's a beautiful dish. One day, we will show you guys exactly how I make my stroganoff. Okay, now we're gonna grab this part. It's open like that, you can see. Just gonna split it down the middle. Okay, so this is the top of the tenderloin. This is gonna be beautiful stir fry meat. Okay, so we're gonna take our knife. We're gonna go on a bias. See that? A bias means an angle, 45. So we're gonna start like this, and we're just gonna slice down. So we're getting about a piece like that. See how it's kind of grainy? Okay, we've got our stir fry meat. It's perfect. Now we've got our scraps, what's left over. We've got our chain in there. We're gonna clean that out, get all the fat we can use out of that, and get all the meat that's in there that we can use. We've got the rest of this, that's all good fat and meat, and we'll clean it all up. All right, we're just gonna take this almost like I was filleting a piece of fish. We don't really want any of that, so we're gonna lay that down, get in, tilt the knife. Okay, that's what's left of the chain. That's all garbage. Nothing we can do with that. And now we're gonna grind up our ground beef. We're cutting the meat up into little squares so that it'll fit nice into the meat grinder so we can make ground beef. All right, guys, we've taken that beautiful beef tenderloin and we've cut it down into 4 different restaurant cuts. We got our stir fry meat right here. We've got our steaks right here. We've got our ground beef right here. And we've got some stewing meat, stroganoff style, 4 meals out of 1 piece of meat. And if you found this helpful, please throw a like up there, hit the subscribe button. We love to see anything that you guys do with it. So tag a picture, a video in the comments. We'll check it out. If you guys like this, you're gonna like what we do next week. We're gonna take the steak, we're gonna do surf and turf. Following that, we're gonna take the stir fry meat and we're gonna do a surf and turf stir fry. Check us out.